One, two. Yo, welcome to Origination Overload. Today we are gonna do a live remix together. So let's see how this goes. So I got a track from Haru Yasumi. Check her out. You can find her on SoundCloud and as well as Bandcamp. And she sent me a cool track. It's kind of like, I don't know, techno noise or something. So here's the file she sent me, some separate, and the MIDI, it's 144 beats per minute. So I'm using Reason 12. I'm gonna change the tempo to 144. And then I'm gonna drag and drop first the wave files and the track. Drop them here. And let that load. While that's loading, I'm going to see if I'm actually live and if this is working. Yo, where is it? Okay, looks like it's live. Cool. So, what's up? Okay. So let's go back to here. So now the files are in Reason. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to Control A on my mixer, select everything, and I'm going to drop it by about 12 decibels. And I'm going to play somewhere just to check the volume level. Okay, cool. So I'm going to change my metering to VU. And just want to make sure nothing's clipping. Okay, cool, looks alright. So, then, I'm going to drop the MIDI in here. MIDI into Reason. And then I'm going to mute this MIDI. And let's just take a listen to this track, see what it sounds like, and get some ideas of what's going on here. pretty cool track. Quite like it. So if you're wondering what I was doing here, I was just drawing out little sections with different lengths, like 16 bar sections and stuff, so I can kind of get an idea of what's happening in the track and where it's changing. Oh yeah, I love this. I'm also just moving everything to the left so I can kind of work on the sounds together and see what's happening with their volume. The pad is for sure loud there. Okay, yeah, cool track. So let's figure out which parts we want to use. So I'm going to go through these sounds and kind of play them individually and decide, do I want to use it or not? I mean, that's a really cool thing. I've got to use that, right? That's definitely usable. I think I'm going to start with this drum thing, this 808, and I'm going to distort the hell out of it. So I'm going to select one of these sections I made up here in my, what's this, like the block section, and press P on the keyboard to loop it. I'm going to right click here in my show, insert effects, and I'm going to add a scream. That's my go-to. Oh yeah! I quite like that like boom 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 sound that the distortion's making. Like that's kind of cool. So I think maybe I use this and put the highs down, and then I'll duplicate it and use another distortion for the highs. Okay, so I'm gonna right click on this, I'm gonna duplicate it, I'm gonna rename this 808 lows, and this one will be 808 highs. Oof, 808 height. Highs, okay. I'll go to this new one that I made, and we change the distortion type and the EQ. So probably going to have to EQ this a bit more, so I'm going to use the fab filter. And this highs might be a bit too much, so I'm going to take some of the top off. And then we'll add this low layer into it and we'll remove some of the highs again. And as you see here, I'm going to remove this bit. Okay, let's listen to them solo, so just the lows. And with just the highs. And then together. Cool. Okay, so we're going to go to the low again and make it mono. So there might be like too much energy in these lows, so I'm gonna go back to them. I'm gonna right click on it, effects, compressor, and let's rename this. I know what's going on. 808 low, and then I'm gonna hold down shift, right click, instruments, redrum or red drum, and gonna use this first sound. It's not connected, so you're not gonna hear it, right? But press tab, turn it around. I'm taking the output, the sound output of this drum machine into the side chain of the compressor, right? And if I lay down one of these sounds, right, not selected on this sound, if I do this and I run it, you're not going to hear anything, but you'll see here the gain on the compressor is coming down, so it's sucking the sound down. So if we play that loop, you can hear it's compressing it quite a bit. So now I'm going to try find the kind of the in-between space of that drum pattern to make sure that kick is kind of hitting a bit more. So it's landing there, and it's landing kind of here. So it kind of we want a gap. Might be a bit too slow, so I'm going to put the attack. So it's going to be a bit quicker, sucking the sound down, and make the release not so long. Okay, that might be too much. Let's try to remove some of these. Okay, let's put that highs back on. The higher frequency part of that loop. And we'll do the same thing. So add a compressor, shift, add a redrum, take this, put it in the sidechain, and see what this does. Let's just run this top loop again. Attack fast, release relatively fast. So now let's hear that without the compression. As you can hear, it's like more, I guess, solid, right? But I kind of want to give it some space. Okay, so we got this loop going. I'm gonna go to my mixer, select both of them, Control G, so I'm gonna group them, 808 group, and then I'm gonna go to the rack, and I'm gonna add some more EQ to this. and maybe cut out this middle section here. Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna try and get a kick going with this, but now obviously that's got quite a lot of bass frequency content, so probably gonna have to sidechain this again just to make sure the kick is kind of cutting through it. But let's try it out first. Let's get a kick, see if we're gonna use the kick that I was provided with. Let's listen to this kick by itself. So, sounds like it's got quite a bit of energy in it. Might be too much. Let's look at a little section. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna put the snap on. I'm gonna cut just like a bar. Move this out the way. And let's just select this clip and press P to loop it. It's probably got too much things going on, yes, so maybe what we're going to do is use the razor tool, put it on 1/16, and, oh well, let's 1/8, and then we're going to cut it, right, to different sections, and I'm going to fade some of these out to make some more space. Can hear this first kick's kind of got an accent on it, but that's fine. Let's put it back onto a bar. I select everything, Control D to duplicate it, and let's try change this a little bit. So maybe we just remove some of these bits and bobs, the ends of this, and put this on 1/16 and fade it out a little bit so it's a bit tighter. Let's hear what that sounds like. Let's move this loop so it's 2 bars. Okay, so yeah, let's listen to that with the loop on it, with the drum loop. Okay, so I'm going to move this kick so it's hitting just at -10. Go back to this drum loop. This is the group section now. I'm going to right click this and do the same thing. I'm going to add compressor. I'm going to add a redrum. It's under instruments. Push tab, take the stereo output into the sidechain, and now, because the kick is hitting like this, right? It's hitting on the 1, the 5, the 9, and the 13. So now we're gonna do this in between it, and we're gonna remove the original hits. So now that's in between the kick, right? So when this hits, it's gonna suck down that space in between the kick. See, it's, as you see, it's bringing the signal down, make the attack quicker, bring the release down so it's quite fast, put the threshold up so it isn't sucking the sound down too much. Let's listen to that with the kick again. Take this off. Bring this up a bit. Okay, kick's alright. Maybe we make this kick even harder. So I'm going to duplicate it, mute one of them, and we're going to add distortion to this, and we're going to see what it sounds like. Well, let's see what it sounds like with the loop, right? Quite like the highs of this, so I'm going to use the highs of this distorted bit, of this distorted kick, take away the lows. I'm going to add some more EQ just to remove the bass frequencies from it. And add back that kick. See, it just gives it kind of like a nice click to it. I'm going to remove the highs from this original kick. So as you can see, what we've done with those two loops and this kick drum is kind of the same thing. We distorted them, and the ones I removed the lows, and the other one I removed the highs. I might be hearing some clicks, not the right kind of clicks. Let's listen to this again. So I might have to fade in and fade out some of these sections. Let's see, if I select everything and I just fade them in slightly. And let's try 50. Maybe it's the fade out. Let's see. So go back to where this was. Oops. And we're going to try the fade out. Maybe fade it out a bit more. Let's try to fade it in some bits. That might work, let's see. I kind of like that accent, so maybe let's try to keep it on the first one as well, so remove the fade in. I might lose some definition there on the kicks, so I'm going to create a redrum, and I think I'm going to add a, excuse me, let's go back a second. I'm going to add a redrum and add hi-hats or something to it to help bring that, the transients or the beginning of that kick out a bit more. So let's go to my mixer, name this kick layer. Solo it, go back to this redrum, right click, reset device, and that's empty, and I'm gonna look for some hi-hats. Yeah, maybe this one, try this out. So it's on the 1, the 5, the 9, the 13, running it, and bring down the length. Let's lay this with the kick. On the gonna slowly fade it in and see where the right volume is. So let's maybe distort this hi-hat layer. Decay might be too long, so bring the length down. Alright, so the kick's kind of got some groove to it. Just gonna save this file. Let's see if anyone's in the chat. Nope. It didn't even go. It didn't even work. Am I still live? Looks like it. Oh well. So, let this save a bit. Excuse me about the background. It's a fucking mess in here. I live with a messy person. Anyways, let's carry on. Okay. I actually realized I just did the sidechain wrong with this loop. I actually want the sidechaining to be happening where the kick is happening, so it's on this part. Very slight change. All right. I think there was a snare here somewhere. Let's find that snare and layer it on top of this beat. So what do we got? Maybe let's start with the hi-hat because it's right here. Snap onto the bar. Put that here. I'm gonna cut off the end of this. Yeah, the hi-hat looks constant throughout, so I'm going to delete the rest of it and just take this into this loop section. Okay, let's distort this hi-hat. Insert effects, right click, effects, scream. Okay, remove the lows. The highs might be a bit too much, so I might have to remove those too. See how much energy this hi-hat's got in the lower ends. Don't need that. Whew. Might be too much energy. Let's just make it softer first. I think it's also a bit, it looks quite tight, as you can see here. It looks very tight. Maybe we can make it even tighter. Let me just start with this. Move this out the way. Put this on 1/8 razor. We cut it. Select everything and gonna fade it out a bit more. Let's try that. Yeah, it sounds a bit better. I'm going to duplicate this and maybe make the last one. What's going on here? Am I seeing transient? Oh, it looks like there's a little thing here. Oh well. Maybe add some personality. Make this last one longer. Just to give it some groove or something. Let's try it out. Okay, so take that, put it on a bar, holding down Control, I'm dragging it over. I'm gonna make my loop longer now, so I'm gonna turn that 2-bar loop into an 8-bar loop, and we're gonna change it up a bit. So maybe we give it some more rhythmic change at the end. So back to my razor, and half a bar. Is that right? No, wait, 1/8. And holding on Control, moving it around. We're gonna try to create like a little variation at the end of this. Okay. So zoom out, see what we're doing here. I'm gonna duplicate these hi-hats and make kind of another little variation over here. Select these and make this. I'm gonna hold on Control and try to make these smaller. So I'm put on to 1/16. Oh wait, that's on the kick. Excuse me, I'm getting a little confused here. So yeah, the kick, duplicate it here. So we leave the kick for now, we go back to the hi-hats. Alright, that's right, sorry. Very confused. This is 4 bars, let's listen to this. Just gonna remove this kick at the end here. Cool. So here you can see the hi-hats are, there's extra hi-hats at the end here, but the kick, I'm removing the kick at the end of the 4-bar loop. Let's find that 808 loop, which is this guy. And just gonna cut it. Gonna remove this front bit, remove this end bit, and maybe we just fade out the end of it here. Hi-hats maybe a bit loud. What I'm gonna do with the hi-hat, I'm gonna duplicate it and I'm gonna make it mono, and I'm gonna make it go to the left, and we're gonna remove this part and this part. So these here are gonna be panned to the left. Cool. Bit of variation, right? Keep it interesting. So let's find that. I wanted to find that snare drum, right? There's a snare somewhere here. See, it's got snare roll. Here's the snare roll. Oops, where's my snare roll? Yeah, maybe let me just take all these solos off. That's cool. So let's listen to all of these together. Snare, the hi-hats, the kick. I'll cut it here somewhere. Hold on Control and move it this way. Ah, here's the snare. Okay, so this is what I want. So let's find that loop section, which is here, and let's layer it and see what it sounds like. Yeah, let's distort it again. As you can see, I'm just distorting everything at this point. I know Haru likes noise, so I'm gonna try to keep it in that vein. That was okay. Duplicate that, mute it, find another distortion which works. Okay, so we go to the sequence. We zoom into this. I'm just gonna cut a one snare. So I'm gonna delete this. Put this on 1/8. Oops, and make it smaller. Yo, see, here's my snare. Yeah, but I don't want that reverb thing at the end of it, so let's make it tight. So let's cut off the end again. Yo, okay. 1/8 and duplicate this. Yeah, okay. So here's the snare. I want to kind of maybe do the opposite, so I'm going to remove that snare on the other one and make this 1/16. Cut these out. The sun is shining in Berlin. Earlier on it was very foggy and the weather has just been miserable as usual. It's relatively cold, like it was about 1 degree, -1 degree last night. Looks like it might be an okay day later. Anyways, I'm going to delete these. As you can see, it's not perfect. This might not work, but we try it out. Let's listen to that. You don't hear anything. Yeah, as you can hear, there's some clicks in it. So select them and we're gonna fade them out. I'm gonna fade them in a little bit. Let's lay that with the snare. Okay, I'm gonna make the snare mono, but keep that other section kind of wide. Okay, maybe not so wide. Let's make that mono, and we're gonna fade it to the, sorry, pan it to the right. That snare needs something. I think it needs a layer with it. It needs a layer. So what does the snare sound like? It sounds like I think I need to fade it out. Actually, you can kind of hear it's the end does not sound right. So I'll take the snap off, slowly fade. It needs some like something deeper or lower. So creates redrum, red drum, motor backwards. Then rename the snare layer. We go to the rack, gonna right click this, reset it. Don't know if I actually want to layer it with another snare, so let's try clap maybe. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, maybe something like this. Let's try it out. What's going on? I think I made a mistake. Did I? Okay, there it is. Just maybe pitch it down. Make it, remove the decay bit. I'm just gonna make it mono. Yeah, I'm not too convinced about the snare actually. Maybe some kind of percussion or something would work better. I do love clavs. Let's try add some shuffle to this clav. Gonna take that snare, the original snare, and pan it to the other side. Let's listen to it really softly. You can hear that this clav is kind of coming out a bit too much. So I'm making it a bit softer. Alright, let's get busy with this bass line. It's actually really wide, maybe too wide to be honest. I'm gonna make this 8/8 loop mono. Move this snare bit, make the snare. Okay, I'm not feeling that snare anymore. Let's get rid of the snare. Let's bring back that snare bit. It might be too much. So I think maybe just delete every second one. Okay, that sounds okay. So gonna delete these, snap back on bar, take word, so that's not gonna work. 1/8. Okay, so I'm gonna move this here so I can just see what I'm doing. Select it, put it here, and then make it shorter again. I hope that made sense. Because if I put it on bar and move it around, it doesn't line up properly. Okay, so we got a 4-bar loop going, but we want a bit longer loop, so let's make that 8 bars. So select everything, move this out the way. Oops, what am I doing? Nah. Put this on a bar. Selecting the kicks and the hi-hats and the snares. I'm gonna move this here. Let's get that snare layer into the sequencer. So to the RE drum, right click, copy pattern to track. I'm gonna disable it. So now it's here. Okay. Now we're going to figure out what we're going to do to this end. I think what could be cool is we find that snare roll. Let me just duplicate the snare, remove that, go to the snare roll part, and we have this at the end. Let's see what it will sound like. So here's a snare roll. fade it in. Cool. But let's remove some stuff. Maybe we just delete everything at the end of this 8-bar loop. The clav might need some snare clav, let's rename it. I like to keep all my percussion and stuff one color. My beats, I know what's going on here. So we're going to go to the mixer. This is the send effects, FX return, right click. I'm going to add a reverb. I quite like the... Oh, my brain's not working. It's hard for me to talk and think about what I'm trying to do here. Let's go back. Where are we? Effects. Find a reverb. Where are we? Oh, this was looking for the Stratus. This is quite a nice VST. It's like a reverb. So where are we? Here's the clav. Yeah. Here's my send effects, and it's on the 1. So go select 1. Let's make it wide. Very slight. So let's maybe have some variation with this clav. So I'm going to duplicate it, then I'm going to go to the reverb on the second one, and I'm going to change. What am I doing? Then I got to make another reverb. Excuse me. Create send effects, Stratus, and then the second one, the reverb is going to be different. Whatever, just anything, I guess. And then we're going to go to the sequencer, and so we've got these 2 different snare layers of the clav, and we're going to change it up a bit. So maybe, I don't know, every 4th hit will be different. So 1, 2, 3, delete. 1, 2, 3, delete. 1, 2, 3, delete. 1, 2, 3, delete. And then on this one, you do the opposite. So it's delete the first 3, keep. 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 But as we know, at the variation at the end of this 8-bar loop, there's no sound, so delete that last one. Yeah, that reverb didn't really make a difference, so let's find another reverb. Something really big, large, and let's try this out. Let's try and make this reverb bigger. No. Let's try this. It doesn't really doing anything really. Let's maybe add another reverb. Create send effects, reason devices, digital reverb. I'll remove that. Add this reverb instead. Let me try this. Make the decay quite big. Ah, there we go. That sounds like something. But let's pan this to a different side. Maybe with that snare roll I can kind of do the same thing. Where is it? Okay, snare roll, we'll kind of do the same idea where I get rid of the fourth one, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and do the opposite here, so that every fourth hit will have this extra reverb on it. Ay ay ay. Fuck that up there. Let's go back. Okay. So where are we? It's this one. And we're going to pan it to the other side. Let's make that a hi-hat mono. Now I've got to get this loop going over here. All right, so bar loop is going. Let's find that bass line. And I guess you know what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to distort this and we're going to take it from there. Okay, so same thing. Gonna choose one distortion for the bass line, duplicate it, gonna have another layer. This top layer is not gonna have much bass in it. That's this one. It's gonna be wide. And then the other one will be mono, and this will have the lower frequencies. What I want is that EQ actually. So mono bass. Again, we're gonna sidechain this. Right, so effects, compressor, tab. Instruments, redrum, tab, into the sidechain tab, lay down 1 5 9 13, run it. Here it's coming through. Make the attack quick, the release quick, bring the threshold down a bit so it's slightly pumping. Okay, let's listen to that. It's on the bass line, right? It's too much, as you see. Gonna do the same thing with this one. Compressor, redrum, tab, into the sidechain. And this one I'm going to add some shuffle though. Run it, quick attack, quick release, threshold down a bit so it's only slightly coming through. might be too wide actually, so make it a little less wide. If you listen to it very soft, you can hear something sticks out too much from the mix. Like these clavs are still just too much. You can hear the bass line's really loud. Yeah, that snare buildup is not really cutting through the mix. Where is it? Somewhere here, right? Zoom out a bit. That's this one. Let's check what distortion this thing's got on it. I'm not convinced about that clav either, to be honest. Let's try clap, maybe. Back to the claps. Ah. It's just that snare layer is just too high. Maybe I got to pitch it down a bit. Oh yeah, you know what it is? It's actually the kick, the kick layer that's got that like click on it. Fucking hell. Confusing myself. So how long has this been? An hour. Cool, because my ears are kind of becoming mush right now. So I think I'll call that for this session, and yeah, I think we'll probably continue this tomorrow sometime very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll check you later. Bye!